to say,
whatever.
the beautiful Emma Jane, of course, has done these gorgeous sculptures here. We're up on the top of Theatre Lane, Greystone Studios. I'm here with a very, very beautiful, you are a very beautiful man, by the way, Darryn. And Darryn, this is not the typical kind of Greystones Guide interview, and I think it's wonderful that you came forward and said to me it would be great to do something on this, because it's an incredibly important subject. It's life-saving, you know. It is a case of being able to encourage lots of young men to take this particular step that you took. So we're talking about testicular cancer. Was there a point where, you know, I'm trying to wonder how you as a young man decided, well, I'm going to check this. Was there somebody or something that inspired you, or?
Well, I literally, I was ignorant. I just kind of thought, you know, I'll the odd occasion I'll check myself, just because that's what you hear about this thing, but I don't need to check myself. It doesn't run in my family. I don't need to. I don't smoke, don't drink, don't do drugs. You know, I'm a healthy guy. You know, and I just said, I'll check myself on a whim. I was in having a bath, and I was just said, how do you do this thing? So I just literally just felt. I just felt around. It just basically got a hold of them delicately and just kind of ran my fingers around them just to kind of check, and there's a bump.
Right.
There's a bump. It's about the size of a garden pea, a little bit bigger than a garden pea, and it was hard, and it was scary. It was scary, but again, that whole kind of thing. No, it's not cancer. It's anything else. Yeah. It's definitely not cancer, you know.
Well, it is a very easy thing to just to check for, and I'm wondering, when was this? Was this like 5 years ago? Was it?
I've just touched 4 years in remission.
Right.
Which is great. Which is really cool.
Well, that's the great thing, that you did have the luck, we say, of catching it.
Yeah.
Now, of course,
very much so.
That idea of you know, finding out that you have testicular cancer or any sort of cancer is a life changer, and I don't know how quickly and how suddenly your life changed, and I don't know how long it took for you to sort of get to a place where you just felt, you know, that it was going to be okay. I don't know if that is something that only comes gradually with time, or whether you straight away kind of put yourself in a frame of mind. I mean, it's a lot to process, and it does change your life.
Yeah. Well, it's turned my life upside down and inside out. I mean, I say it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. It's kind of like, I remember Michael J. Fox put this quote out saying, with his Parkinson's disease, that it's the gift that keeps on taking. Well, this is a personal thing for me, you know, but I get exactly what he means, because I have a condition now called testosterone deficiency, where it can cause an unending amount of problems and stuff like that. So in terms of that, living on a day-to-day basis is a struggle. It's a massive struggle. Just to get through a day can be you know, really tough, and I may look healthy or whatever, but just physically getting through a day is really tough. But mentally and emotionally, I suppose the cancer thing, having cancer, it hasn't hit me. It still hasn't hit me. There are moments where I still cannot believe. Have I had cancer? And it was kind of one of those things, you know. You just cannot believe, and there's a certain, you know, you feel that you can get through anything once if you deal with cancer, you can get through anything. But I was lucky. I caught it in time. I was so lucky. That was purely what it was.
I was trying to find out online. I couldn't find it. Just the statistics. I mean, there's not a lot of you know, hard men who have the balls literally to check these things. Yeah. So I don't know what the statistics are. Do you know any idea what sort of numbers we're dealing with in Ireland?
Well, it's, you know, the thing is that it's a young person's disease.
Right.
It's between sort of, I mean, as young as 12, as sort of up to 40, and it's a wide spectrum. And there is this kind of, you know, attitude that, again, you know, look, there's a 97% success rate in terms of treatment and getting through cancer.
Great.
And that
Well, that's
there
a
is
healthy
huge
figure.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Once it's caught early, once we get it out there and people know that this is the thing, you're not immune to this, and guys are scared to check themselves, or there's this whole thing, but it's just becoming such a big thing now. I mean, it is one of the most, you know, one of the rarest cancers, you know, and you know, and and once caught early, it's it can be managed. But it is one of the most aggressive cancers as well. So it's so important that everyone checks. These guys need to check, and not be embarrassed.
You said it to me before that there is that sort of the male kind of role is just get on with it. Don't stop and look at the wound. Just keep walking. You don't tend to. It'll just be it'll be a cool scar later on. That's all that's going to happen. But I would think too from the point of view of your own experience, you've said too that what's also kind of an issue is the post-traumatic stress syndrome, where it is such a shock to the system, and most of us coming out of anything like from a car crash to any kind of life crash, there is that period of time where you are trying to readjust your set and get back to, for want of a better term, like a normal sense of self. But that's quite a tough one too, because there's all sorts that come with that: weight gain, depression, and there's there's issues that you have to deal with that are not just, you may have killed the beast, but there's still
there is very much that. I mean, it is that I got rid of the cancer. I thought, right, here we go, I've had my chemo, I had problems with that, but you know what, you get through, and you fight through it, and for everybody, the experience is different for everybody with chemotherapy. For me, it was pure hell on earth. It was torture, and I like to think of a high tolerance to these things, but it was pure torture. But you get through it because there's an end. Or is there? To a degree there is, but you're kind of left with this testosterone deficiency, which is not known about, and like you say, weight gain, depression, on top of your post-traumatic stress syndrome, they just coat the surface really, but the problem is that there is no real support out there, or an awareness of any kind of support. I mean, and that's where, for me, Check 'em Lads was they just saved my life. I mean, they really did save my life. That support group. Oh, what do you mean? This is normal? You mean I'm not just crazy, or I'm not just? I kind of put it down to I've been through cancer. I've had a rough time. I'm just getting through it. That's what it is. But it was so much more than that. I mean, and it's a day-to-day thing. It's a life thing. It's a life commitment, and you have to take certain steps and certain get a support team behind you. Get get a good GP who wants to help. Wants to understand sort of testosterone deficiency and wants to kind of help you in your journey. That's absolutely apparent. Absolutely
crucial.
important. It's very crucial, because there isn't an awful lot of awareness, even with doctors themselves. There is a bit of there's a bit more education needed there. More understanding.
We should mention too, of course, Greystone Cancer Support do a lot of on Tuesday. Well, starting Tuesday, the 4th of October, they've got a survivorship program running, which is just a weekly. Like that, just how to survive, having survived, and how to get back to a sense of self and a sense of worth, and it is. I don't know whether it is social media has sort of made us more aware, but I do feel that we've had, thankfully, a much more kind of alert kind of community of just trying to figure out, what's out there and what can cause problems early on, and how to kind of catch them, and I mean stuff like Facebook and all that. There's so many stories you get to hear now, which is terrific, because if it inspires any number of people just to go and check themselves, that's really the key to it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we'll put in links and so forth. The checking is very, very simple. I just looked it up now. I know that either you can do it yourself, or you can go to Robinson's on a Saturday night and get somebody else to do it for you. But there is just that simple checking of just seeing if there's any kind of hard lumps.
That's all it is. There's no guys ask me this question all the time. How did you find it? What does it feel like? It feels like a lump. It feels like a lump. It could be a cyst. It could be many things. It could also be cancer. So just get it checked. Don't put it off. I did that same thing. Oh well, wait for 2 weeks, and it's not. You know what? It saved my life. Checking and just making sure I got to my earliest appointments to the doctor, and it is literally that. Just check it, and go and get it looked into, and don't push it aside. It'll save your life.
Well, I will just say now to wrap up that just to say thank you, because I know it's a tough one to kind of share, because it's a vulnerability. It's a sense of getting yourself kind of in order, but caring about others who may benefit from this and may sort of have the same have the same early diagnosis and start on that road of just getting recovered and not letting this become something that literally ruins their life, ends their life at a later stage. So
Absolutely.
so well done, Darren.
Thank you. Thanks very much, man. Thank